Good about an investment that will last for years. All Energy Solar is a locally trusted turnkey solar installer that's been around since 2009. They provide custom designs and quality installations of solar panel systems that work for your energy needs. One of the best parts about going solar is it's an investment that can pay for itself. Your system can pay back 100% of the installation cost in as little as 8 years. Plus, the system from All Energy Solar can pay back over 300% of its cost over its lifetime. There's also many tax incentives and rebates available, and the experts at All Energy Solar can walk you through the entire process to make sure you're saving as much as possible. So go green, both financially and environmentally, with All Energy Solar. Get a free, no-obligation assessment from All Energy Solar by calling 800-620-3370 or visiting allenergysolar.com.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res, my cleaning heroes. Did you know as many as 1 in 5 Americans suffer from allergies caused by particles found in the air in your home? If you or anyone in your family suffers from allergies or asthma, or you just want cleaner, healthier air, Zero Res can help with their air duct and dryer vent cleaning service. The Zero Res 12-step professional source removal process guarantees your home will be cleaned to the highest standards. Not only will an air duct cleaning help this allergy season, but you will enjoy less dust, lower energy bills, and your home will stay cleaner longer. It's back to school time, so there's no better time for a fresh start than right now, and that's why Zero Res is taking $100 off air duct cleaning services through the rest of August. Call 952-ZERO-RES or go to ZeroResMinnesota.com right now and ask for the AM 950 special. Spell it backward or forwards, it's the same. Zero Res. With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Hazy tonight with a low of 60, then Wednesday sunshine with a high of 78. Fill the hot summer nights with the hottest music in the Twin Cities at Crooner's Supper Club in Fridley. Crooner's is located just north of I-694 off Highway 65. View their schedules and food menus at croonersloungemn.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hitting cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local and national Native news and events, and as you know, Haley, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
You're absolutely right, Digga. This portion of the show is supported by NACD's Four Sisters Farmers Market, which happens every Thursday on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis from 11 to 3.
You know, I'll be there tomorrow, too, in between on my little lunch break, getting that fry bread pizza. Hey, I was at the Brandi Carlile concert last night, 10th row, and I missed a pick by like about 3 rows, but it was close. And it was just a great spiritual experience. What a great performer. And just a shout out to Brandi Carlile. Hey, we got a jam-packed show, and we have the executive director of Merge, Wisconsin, Arvina Martin. Right now, it's all Ho-Chunk here on Native Roots Radio, and we like it that way. Oh, welcome.
Oh, wow.
Long Chick Wednesday.
Yeah, it is. Exactly. So how are you? It seems like I haven't talked to you in a while. We're, kind of spaced out here at the Minnesota get together, and Haley calls it the Minnesota Great Sweat Together, and we have our booth, Native Roots Trading Post, out at the fair. So I've been visiting my Weha and Hinu, and telling them to get off their phone and start selling stuff. Ho!
That sounds like a pretty good, pretty good way to be.
Exactly. Well, what's happening in Mad City? My second favorite city in the country, literally.
Things are going great. We actually had a lovely day today. It was sunny and didn't get higher than 72 degrees, which is exciting for us because our air conditioning doesn't work at our house right now. So it's nice to have some cool weather, before we get our before the repair guys can come in and take care of everything for us. So
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, that is good, and I know here in the Twin Cities by the weekend, we're gonna be in the hundreds, and to me,
well,
there's no difference between 1,000,000 degrees and 100 degrees.
yeah, that's when they went. Yeah, and I was planning before I knew what the weather was going to be like to go to Black River Falls for our Labor Day powwow, and now I'm like, maybe that's not a great idea for you, Arvina. You
Yeah,
don't do well in heat.
I know, no one does. Hey, I was I watched the parade at the fairgrounds, and, the St. Paul Roller Derby was in the fair, the roller
Ooh,
girls, and that was really exciting, and I thought of you and all the great things that you do and
yeah.
for the community. For me, the state fair at Minnesota has always been it's back to school. As a former teacher, it's back to school. Right after Labor Day, we get the students, but it's also like political time. And, we got school boards and things like that, and lions and tigers and bears coming up. What's going on in the great state of Wisconsin?
Oh yeah. So we have a rare fall with or a rare stretch of time without any elections. We don't have any fall elections this year. So our next set of elections will be spring of 2024, and yeah, that includes school boards. And the right wing is really pushing candidates and pushing for people that think like them and are the kinds of folks that want to tell students that slaves learned valuable skills that help them in their lives, and you know and other mis non-truths, etc. And so I've been thinking a lot about the idea that we need more Native people on school boards, just up and down, wherever you are in Wisconsin, in Minnesota. We don't have enough Native people that are on school boards that can help, protect curriculum to be, authentic and educational and real. I guess. I mean, we're to the point where they're trying, the other side is trying to put in like actual lies about things and change things because they're afraid it's gonna make somebody feel bad, instead of understanding that you can love your country and still be critical of it, and that's okay. It's okay to be critical of events in the past because that's how you get better. And I think that when it comes to both educating Native students in a safe and respectful environment, as well as educating non-Native students about Native people, again, in a safe and a respectful environment, is really important. And I think that we need to have more Native people on school boards because we're able to kind of bring voice to those concerns, and those are things that are on our minds, and they're not, they won't get swept under the rug if we have people championing those things. And I think about how every year we hear about students that are banned from having either beadwork on their graduation cap or having an eagle feather on their graduation cap, and how ridiculous that is, and how that could be helped by having someone of that student's background, having a Native person in a position of power and and that has a platform to speak and that people will listen to. I think it's it's really, really important, especially when kids, have to tell somebody at their school that their team played somebody with a native mascot, and all of their schoolmates, even if it's not their school, that has the mascot, they go to these games and have to see all kinds of horrible things. People saying scalp the Indians, or just things that are tomahawk chops, just really offensive visual images, just things that are antithetical to an educational experience, for anybody.
Well, what's weird, or not weird, what's really cool, we need to stay vigilant here in Minnesota, but this year, Haley, help me out. There's a new law that Native American history is, it's a law in Minnesota where they have to teach Native American history.
Yeah. So the legislators just kind of snuck this into like a wording of the bill, one of the bills that was passed. So yeah, it's now a requirement that K through 12 teachers have to teach Indigenous history in the classroom.
That's a great first step. We have something similar in Wisconsin. It's referred to as Act 31. But unfortunately, there's no enforcement mechanism, or there's no teeth to it. So, if people don't teach about it, nothing happens. So in a lot of cases, there are so many schools in Wisconsin that don't do this, because nothing's going to happen to them if they don't. And I hope that Minnesota has some better enforcement mechanisms involved in in your law over there than we have over here. So
what a great point. What a great point. And that's what I mean. We have to stay vigilant and not relax, because politicians change, governors change, and we still have to do what you do and how you work with women with Emerge Wisconsin. And maybe we can talk a little bit more about what's happening with Emerge Wisconsin and how
absolutely
people get hold of you, and just let's rock the vote. Let's get going here, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Hey, we're here with Arvina Ho-Chunk. Hey, we'll be right back. This is Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake and I'm Woke. Whoa. Hey.
Stay with us.
When we heal from our traumas,
when we face our fears,
let go of our addictions,
when we relearn our values,
when we live our teachings,
respecting our elders,
cherishing and honoring our children,
when we honor and take care of our spirit,
there will be no room left for sexual violence.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Attention art enthusiasts, experience Laura Youngbird's Indie Wisigindum, My Heart Hurts, a solo exhibition by Laura Youngbird presented by All My Relations Arts this summer. All My Relations Arts aims to foster connections between contemporary American Indian artists, preceding generations, diverse audiences, and the vitality of the American Indian cultural corridor. Laura Youngbird is a talented artist from the Minnesota Chippewa Grand Portage Band that uses the dress as a metaphor to address social issues, injustices, and biases. Through mixed media combining drawing, painting, and prints, Laura explores the dress as a powerful symbol in her work, revealing layers of meaning. Her series examines mixed emotions and themes like common threads, loose ends, and vulnerability. And you can see Laura Youngbird's Inde Wisigindum, My Heart Hurts, all summer through September 9th at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis. Plan your visit and let the moving art speak to your heart. More information at allmyrelationsarts.org.
Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. The plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus over 30 extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, we're here with Arvina Martin, CEO or Executive Director of Emerge Wisconsin, and I'll have to get schooled after the show by Haley. What's the difference between CEO and Executive Director? So, hey, we're here and we're talking politics and we're talking school board a little bit. And, that's one thing I think the other side is really kind of concentrating on too, because we hear these wacky school board meetings of people that don't have children in the school, don't live in the area, and it's sounding like they're all upset and they're just in there flaming the fire. Arvina, you're on mute.
Every time I start talking, I'm just excited to say things and I'm always muted every time. What I was trying to say or was starting to say is that the right wing has actively recruited all of those people, and the left and the progressives are starting to do the same, and actively recruiting candidates for local offices in particular. We kind of refer to that as building the bench, so that the folks that are starting in local offices, maybe they ultimately want to run for a state office or a federal office too, and they're kind of getting experience serving on a legislative body at a more local level. And we on the left need to make sure that we're doing that as well. The problem is that a lot of people that make up the left, especially for BIPOC people of color, for women, that we might not see ourselves as qualified, and the same way that somebody from the right is convinced that they're qualified, and it's a really difficult hurdle to jump over, and I just want to say to anybody who's considering running, for any Native person who's considering running for office, you are qualified. You are qualified. You are qualified. You have experiences that very likely other people that serve on whatever body you're looking to run for, that they don't have. And those experiences are going to widen the view of that particular body, and you're going to be able to make much better legislation that helps more people with less effort, and that's always something that is positive. And going back to school boards, you were a student, you've been to school, you know how that works. Maybe you're a parent. That's another outstanding point of view and frame of reference that you can bring to serving on a school board. But if you've been to school, you've got, or if you've been educated, which I assume most are, you have that experience as a student, and you can see how things are different from when you were there, where we're in school, either positive or negative, and can take a look at some of the issues that are facing our students these days.
Arvina, and you're an former elected official, and I've been to the Capitol here. Well, I've been to both capitals, Madison and St. Paul here, and they're people. They listen to you, and I think that's a thing that we have, that Emerge, and you talking about Emerge and running for office really demystifies it. If you go to the Capitol and talk to these people, they're just people. They put their shoes on one shoe at a time.
Exactly. I think that for the longest time we've held elected officials, no matter what their level of service is, to such a high standard, or we think of them as occupying this very high up space when really they're just regular people that, you know, want to watch the Packer game on Sunday. Sorry for my Minnesota fans here, but I had to throw that in. You know, and want to make sure that, you know, kids are growing up in a safe and healthy environment. And you know, when you start meeting those folks, it starts the whole barrier seems to break down, and it is a lot easier to see the people that are making the decisions for us, that they are just regular people, just like us, you know, that there isn't some kind of special candidate tree that they fell off of, or somebody picked out and was like, oh, this one's ready to go. You know.
Yeah, first school board, then city council, then or state representative, then state senator, then president. Isn't
Yep.
that how it used to go?
Hey,
Something
you
like
know,
that.
something like that. And yeah, and you know, a lot of these local races or local positions they're not full time, so you don't have to give up your job. You know, you can keep going about your regular life. You just have, you know, a little less free time because you've got meetings to go to in some evenings and emails to answer from constituents.
Well, let's talk about you know, and I always like to talk about call to action. That's get your website, get the information out there. You know, every time we see each other, I want to blast that out there and
Yes.
tell people what's up.
Yes, Emerge Wisconsin. You can check us out, wi.emergeamerica.org, and pay attention because on Monday, September 4th, aka Labor Day, we are going to be opening up our applications. So for any women or any non-binary folks that feel comfortable in female-centered spaces, please go on Monday or after to apply to our program. You can also reach me at Arvina, Arvina, at emergewi.org. If you have any questions about running for office, just generally, or, you know, maybe you are listening from outside of Wisconsin, and I'd be happy to help you figure out and find resources in the state where you live, to be able to, you know, get you started on a journey to public service. So we are here to help you.
That's
100%.
exciting. And when you say help too, it's if somebody feels uncomfortable in the beginning, I mean, Emerge and yourself personally will help people get through things in the beginning because it's overwhelming. I mean, you know,
Absolutely.
my job, it's taken me 2 years to figure out what's going on, and you know what? I still don't know what's going on.
Well, and that's the great thing about participating in a program like Emerge is that we have hundreds of alums that are excited for you and want to help you out, and maybe they've gone through something similar, and they can help you kind of work your way through some of the things that are more difficult. Maybe you have, you know, you get nervous when public speaking, and somebody can help you and listen to you while you practice. You know, that's just a whole kind of camaraderie that comes with a program like Emerge. And, you know, that is a huge help, you know, without all of the other trainings and the nuts and bolts that you learn. Having someone who can relate to you and you can either vent to or, you know, talk to during your whole electoral process. I mean, that's a really important thing because running for office is weird. And if you haven't done it, so, like, it's hard to kind of understand how weird it is and how to be on all the time and have to be able to pull certain talking points out of your head at the drop of a hat, and having conversations all day, but still feeling alone because, you know, you're talking to constituents, and not people that know you well. Like it's something that you really need to have someone who's been through it, to kind of help you process your own feelings about it. I think it's so helpful.
Hey, did you ever hear the story of me meeting Obama here in Milwaukee this past year?
I did not.
So I had a few things to tell him, what's up? Hey, free Leonard Peltier, tell your buddy Biden, and I had all these things. And we were in front of the line to get our picture taken with him. And then he reached out his hand and he said, "Hi, how are you doing?" and smiled at me. I wanted to hug him and kiss him. And then 13 seconds later, I got a picture taken and I was gone.
Yeah, absolutely. Those photo lines go really quick. And when I met President Biden last spring and I introduced him, told him, "I'm Ho Chunk and welcome to our ancestral homeland," he got, his eyes got big and he kind of put his hands up in the air and he goes, "I love it when Native people remind all of us that they're citizens of other nations." And he gave me the biggest hug and I just was like, whoa, like, okay. That's not how, I don't know how I expected it to go, but that certainly wasn't it.
Well, I was going to tell him what's up. Hey, talk to Biden. And next thing you know, 13 seconds later, I wanted to hug and kiss him. And I shook his hand, got a picture, and it was gone.
Absolutely. It's, I mean, even the coolest of the cool kind of lose it when you meet the president, it's hard
or
to
the
kind
former
of
president, right?
Yep.
Obama
That's for sure.
was a rock star here. It was like amazing. Well, Arvina, it's time to say see you later. I really appreciate you stopping in. Appreciate your energy and all you do for us as a Ho Chunk, but as a representative Ho Chunk person in Wisconsin and across Turtle Island. You're dynamite, and Emerge Wisconsin is dynamite. Executive Director Arvina Martin.
Thanks so much for having me.
Hey, up next, we're going to have Dr. Maureen Hackett on, founder of Howling For Wolves. We'll be right back, and Wendy's going to stop in too and maybe shoot a few questions. We'll be right back after this short break. Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling For Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl. J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
Hi, Matt McNeil for Rudy Luther Toyota. You've heard me talk about the Rudy Luther Toyota We Buy program. Now hear from someone who's actually done it, me. Our kids' car, the 2006 Toyota Sienna, served us well for 17 years, but it was finally time to say goodbye. The We Buy program is really simple. I gave them some basic information. We set up an appointment, and after a quick verification, they gave me an estimate and a check, and they made me a generous offer. It was that fast. See for yourself. Try the Rudy Luther Toyota We Buy program at rudyluthertoyota.com.
As we emerge from the shadows of the pandemic, let us celebrate our resilience and embrace the path to a brighter future. While the COVID-19 emergency declaration may be over, our commitment to safety remains stronger than ever. We invite you to stand tall and protect what matters most, our health and the well-being of our loved ones and elders. The power to keep our communities safe lies within each one of us. It's important to remember the basics when you're with someone who might be at risk of COVID complications. Wear your mask, wash your hands often, and take an at-home COVID test if you have any symptoms. We are a strong and interconnected community, and together we'll emerge from this challenge stronger than ever. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep the spirit of our Native American culture thriving. Find more tips on continuing to be safe at health.state.mn.us. That's health.state.mn.us.
This message is brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Health.
Outfront Minnesota is a driving force behind LGBTQ plus advocacy in our state, and they're gearing up to honor our state's monumental achievements in protecting our LGBTQ plus neighbors. While other states took steps backwards, Minnesota had the greatest advance in LGBTQ plus rights in 10 years. We showed that Minnesota is committed to affirming our values as a state that trusts individuals to make informed decisions about their bodies and lives, while also taking pride in delivering exceptional health care and supporting communities in need. We passed a conversion therapy ban and a trans refuge bill. And now Upfront Minnesota is ready to lead Minnesota towards even a brighter future. To celebrate, Outfront Minnesota is hosting their annual gala, where we bring in together more than 700 guests at Allianz Field on Thursday, September 14th. The event celebrates a year of legislative wins while honoring diverse communities, propelling Minnesota forward into next year. Again, that's Thursday, September 14th at Allianz Field, with a dinner at 6 and party at 8. So come celebrate Minnesota's progress on LGBTQ plus rights and order your tickets at outfront.org.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Hazy tonight with a low of 60, then Wednesday sunshine with a high of 78.
Warner Stellian delivers appliance savings on a stick you won't find anywhere else. Earn a bonus for each additional appliance you buy for up to $1,000 back. Plus, pay no interest for 2 years. Shop smart with the specialists at Warner Stellian.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Oh! Hey, that was awesome. Wendy's here too, off camera, and we are here with Dr. Maureen Hackett, founder of Howling for Wolves, and always great to see you. And great for all the work you do.
Booze Hoo Wakanja Hade. Did I get your name right?
Yeah, you spoke a little Ojibwe too and threw out some ho-chunk in there. That's awesome. Yeah, welcome. Really good to see you. What's happening? We got some updates coming up here, and
I thought I'd have a slow summer. I thought we would have a slow summer. I'm doing the Trump thing. Anyway, but instead, it's been quite busy. Let's see, what would I like to say? First of all, a big publication came out in early June that showed us what we thought was really happening, and that is that with wolf hunts comes more illegal wolf killing. And so this was a study that analyzed the Minnesota DNR's own data, 16 years of collared wolf data, that basically found human-caused wolf mortality more than tripled with the hunts and continued for 5 years after the hunts ended till the end of the data. This is in Minnesota. This is Minnesota's own data. The author is a geneticist, actually, and a computational biologist. Let's see if we can, and it was published in Nature Scientific Reports.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a link to this. Everybody has access at Howling for Wolves. If you look at our press latest news, it's on the front page. The July 10th release will tell you all about this. So I used this in a meeting with the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources on August 17th when they had a finalization of the wolf plan. And I requested that they reevaluate the wolf plan in light of this data and really the study in 2023 of the wolves killed outside of national parks and how it disrupts their packs. So I've been busy trying to figure out a way to get wolf hunting both out of the wolf plan in Minnesota and also continue the push to have wolf hunting prohibited in the state of Minnesota. Mm-hmm. So I will let you jump in because we have more even from there. So go ahead.
Well, Wendy, go ahead.
Yeah, well, first, Maureen, hi. Thank you so much, Dr. Hackett, for being here. We always appreciate your expertise about our Minnesota wolves, which we are always working on saving every day. A friend of mine inboxed me privately on Facebook. I don't know if you know anything about this at all, but her daughter's best friend lives in Duluth, and she's asking if anyone knows about a tribe up there that is putting down leg traps for wolves where they hunt. And she just said it seems really odd to me that this would be happening. I've asked around a little bit, but nobody has any information about it. So I wanted to ask that. And I also wanted to let everyone know that at the Minnesota State Fair, you can go to the Senate booth and the House of Representative booth inside the education building, and they have a survey, and you could actually say and fill out on that survey that you want to end wolf hunting in Minnesota. So I wanted to throw that out there as well.
Yes, and actually that's in the education building. Both the Senate and the House for the legislature have booths there, and they have a survey they give every year. And I'm really impressed that they have that question. And I will say that Howling for Wolves had nothing to do with that. Not that I'm proud of that necessarily, and we would just encourage people to do that. Now, somebody told me there was an online version, and I haven't had a chance to look for it. I'm wondering if anybody else has had a chance. Because that would be great if we could push that online survey. It would really, really be helpful for people to continue to push their legislators to tell them that they want wolf hunting prohibited. It's going to, my worry is after this publication and in combination with some other news that I got at this meeting August 17th, which included livestock producers are complaining more and conflicts are being confirmed more and wolves are being killed more practically than ever. They have reached the number of wolves they killed as all of last year already, and they have 2 more months. This, in combination with a comment made by the Voyager's Wolf Project director Tom Gables, the researcher, he stated on WCCO radio that the pack territories are no longer delineated precisely the way they usually are. So I am concerned that we have broken up a lot of packs and there's a lot of chaos and it's creating a lot of problems with livestock conflicts and broken packs that are just getting into trouble. And I'm worried we're in a cycle. Now, to answer your question, I have no idea, Wendy, about those traps. The USDA Wildlife Services usually do the trapping, and it's generally for killing. If these are research traps, I suppose they have pads on the traps to try to protect the paws, but the USDA person may know that other people are trapping. He may know about that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I will check that out.
And I can give you his contact information. I could just call him. You just tell me where these traps are. I could just call him and find out, because he does answer my calls. I was impressed with how much of an impression Howling for Wolves had made on the Wolf Plan panels. And I was able to sit in on the technical group and plead that they evaluate this paper on the human caused mortality. And frankly, the paper that the DNR cooperated in publishing, that this paper was in response to, they saw a huge increase in human caused mortality too. They just didn't believe their data because of the way they were using some Bayesian modeling, which is too complicated for me even, but it's trying to connect dots in a smooth line, and their dots don't connect in a smooth line because it was like a kind of a steady wolf mortality before the hunts at about 20%. And then November 2012, it jumps up. So it's not a straight line. It's a discontinuity, which was the difference in the two papers. The second paper did a discontinuity analysis and showed exactly with the initiation of the hunts, the bump up in the mortality, and it stayed up. The trend stayed up. So we're very concerned, and we have to push. We have to push to get wolf hunting out because it turns on wolf killing and it cannot be controlled.
Yeah. Wow. Really good points. Wendy, you have anything else?
Yeah, I just want to thank you, Maureen. And if anybody's out there at the Minnesota State Fair, stop into those booths and fill out that survey. Also, I guess we can just try Googling to see if there is the one online. That would be really helpful for people who can't make it out there in person. And
also take take a photo of yourself, send it to Howling for Wolves on Facebook or info@Howling for Wolves, or just try to help us pump up the action. On Instagram, share it with us. We have Howling #4 Wolves on Instagram. Send it to Native Roots Radio. They'll send it to me. So, we want to just kind of increase the traffic there.
It sounds great. We always appreciate all of your advocacy for our Minnesota Wolves, Maureen.
Yeah, definitely.
You guys are great. Keep it up. Miigwech.
Well, yeah, and we Peeny Gigi, because like Ho-Chunk are called the people of the sacred voice. Peeny Gigi is thank you in Ho-Chunk.
I like that word, Pinagigi. That's really sweet. So I enjoy this. Anyway, I'm going to come out and see you at the fair too.
Right on. You'll see our daughters, because Wendy and I are semi-retired and Wendy's really retired. We just go by every once in a while and tell them to get off their phones, and then we go do our fair thing.
The fair is grueling if you're running a booth.
Yeah,
it is. It's hard. We did it last year. We were there every single day for 12 days. It is hard. It's fun though. Also,
can be energizing, but I found Wendy is I'm an extrovert and Wendy is an introvert, and I really experienced it. I would get excited, or I'd get energy from it, and you would get energy sucked from you. And I saw it it was crazy, and I finally believed you after all these years.
Yes. Howling for Wolves was there for 7 years, and we probably will get back there. But I get energy from, obviously, from all
right
that.
On. Well, let's make this plan to action. Go to the fair, the education building, and fill out that survey, and then also your call to action, Dr. Maureen.
Well, I just think we all have to keep on the governor. It's going to come down to the governor and lieutenant governor. If you guys have a chance, ask her. Because, when they're not in office, if we don't get the bill passed, the DNR will do their new plan, which is really an old plan with new dressing.
Yeah,
Seriously.
absolutely.
It has a few things. It has some good stuff about consultation with tribes. It does. And it has things about keeping the ecological function of wolves. But it still has weird, crazy reasons for a wolf hunt that are not true. So
Exactly. Yeah. Well, thank you, Dr. Hackett, for stopping in, founder of Howling for Wolves. And we appreciate your support, but also all you do for our relatives with tails and hooves and little big noses.
Oh, guys, did you see that we bought guard dog pups? We got Mary Falk of Love Tree Farms. She sells really delicious organic cheeses at the St. Paul Fair, and she's an organic farmer who has sheep, and we purchased Howling for Wolves, got her some guard dog puppies, livestock guard dog puppies, to help replace some of the adults she lost. And they're really cute, and you can see the pup dates on our Facebook page.
All right. Instagram. All right. Hey, thanks, Dr. Hackett, for stopping in. You're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and up next, Bob Blake from Red Lake with the Solar Bear with the Solar News. Ho!
Affordable, healthy, and culturally appropriate food is accessible right in the heart of the American Indian Cultural Corridor at Four Sisters Farmers Market. They embrace inclusivity and accessibility at Four Sisters, accepting SNAP and EBT benefits, market bucks, Gust Produce market bucks, cash, and cards. So enjoy the abundance of fresh food regardless of your payment method at Four Sisters Farmers Market. Open Thursdays until October from 11 to 3 at 1414 East Franklin Avenue. More at nacd.org, and tell them Native Roots Radio sent you.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. The plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus over 30 extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
You work hard for every cent you make. You have bills and you have goals. Choose a bank that's going to support you along the way. That's Fair Financial Banking. No overdraft fees, no minimum balance, no credit score required. Call 651-262-2173 to talk to a Fair Financial enroller to open your account today. Keep more of your money. That's fair. Fairfinancial.org. FAIR is a program of Prepare Plus Prosper, a nonprofit organization, and is not a bank. Banking services are provided by Sunrise Banks N.A., member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by J.S. Bean Factory off Randolph Avenue in St. Paul, bringing you only the best coffee, roasted to perfection.
Wow, good read. Hey, yes, we're here with Bob Blake from Red Lake, and we're here listening and going in anticipation with the Solar Bear with the solar news. Welcome, Bob.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Applause. I got the pause button there. All right. Hey, welcome.
Oh, yeah. You I listened to the Howling for Wolves lady. That's awesome.
Yeah, she's been a sponsor for a long time, and we support her work. And the wolves are so important to us Native Americans. I mean, our lieutenant governor is in the wolf clan, so that just right there says it all.
Mayingan is how we say it in the wolf and Ojibwe, and then of course Robert, you're my brother, your friend. His Native American name was Chi Mayingan, which means big wolf.
Really?
Yeah. So
wow.
that was his name. Yeah, and of course us, that was his Native American name. But yeah, so Robert, lots happening. Okay. Yep. And let's start with what's happening down in Florida with the hurricane. And there has been 19 states that have activated 25,000 line workers, linemen, that they go up and they fix the power lines. And they've been activated to go and stand by, and they're currently putting back power to the state of Florida and that whole kind of Gulf region there.
Yeah, crazy. Some deaths and people missing again. It's tragic, and it's like 2 years in a row, Robert, that they had a big hurricane in Florida.
And I think I think that what we need to start thinking about, right, as we move forward, is like how how do we start burying the power lines in the ground, because there's going to be so many of these inclement weather events now, that it's just going to happen with more severity, with more intensity, and I just don't know how we start kind of mitigating the risk, right, for our communities across the country. Another story here, Robert, is that experts say the increasing severity of weather events, including 7 tornadoes that touched down in Michigan last week, shows that the effects of climate change are becoming more noticeable. So, we know this because we've been talking about this for the last couple of years on the show, but the severity of these storms now, before these scientists couldn't actually connect them and say that the severity of these storms are connected straight to climate change. Now they're saying they are connected to they can say for a scientific fact that they are connected. So
yeah, I've been hearing that more and more in the media too, finally, and by politicians, and directly saying that, and weathermen or weather people.
Well, yeah, and the other one too, Robert, and we know that this has happened though, but the record-breaking wildfires that are happening up in Canada due to climate change are contributing to poor air quality. And of course, what just happened out in Hawaii too. So, we're seeing more and more of these. The bottom line is that we're seeing more and more of these, events that are directly caused by climate change, and so we really do need to start taking this very, very seriously, Robert. But I've got some good news here to everyone that is listening. And we are well positioned to see climate pollutions, greenhouse gas emissions, drop by 40% below 2005 levels by 2030 if we implement all of these plans that are currently being put out by the Department of Energy, all of this solar that we could install. We need to be able to have other governments, other state governments take up a plan of getting to net zero. Robert, more importantly, we need investments like pension funds, state funds. We need these places to start investing into companies that are going to have good ESG goals, environmental social governance goals, because not only can we get to this level before 2005, if we do this, it really is going to take all of us voting with our money, honestly, when it comes right down to it.
Absolutely. And, we talk a lot of politics, but, Biden's releasing money for infrastructure and for solar and for natives to do it. And I know you're working with some tribes, and hopefully you'll be working with one out in Wisconsin very soon here. It's there for the picking, and you just have to have, you have to have the vision.
Yeah, and we do, and like Robert said, Native Son is going for a major grant with all the tribes, to do a solar for all, it's so important that we start preparing our communities right now for all of this climate change, so we can keep on the power for our elders, that need the breathing machines. They need to keep their diabetes medication cold, and so forth. So it's really, it is really important. Hey, Robert, I just got a few more statistics that I want to tell you real quick. In 2022, wind power accounted for 22% of new electricity capacity. And it was only second to solar. And get this, right? 125,000 Americans now, are working in that wind industry. So that I think that's just incredible. And the statistics only get bigger with solar, because obviously you need more people to deploy solar. But think about all these jobs that are being created. So this guy Vivek Ramaswamy, or this Republican candidate who's out there talking bad about renewable energy, and they're not creating jobs. It's a dead end. This guy is a car salesman. I just want everybody to know this. He is a straight car salesman, and he does not know what he's talking about, because the statistics speak for themselves, Robert.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of that too. I've heard from politicians in the past, and I still hear them quote some crazy stuff, but not have any, where they got that was like, I don't know, the bathroom wall or something, because they're not telling us where they're getting their information, and they say these outlandish things like that.
And I want to let everybody know right now that I'm getting that these statistics that I'm reading to you, the statistic right here that I'm going to read you right now off the Department of Energy statistic website. And wind energy is one of the cheapest energy sources nationwide and generates enough electricity to power more than 43 million homes. It's got the sources to cite it too. So, Solar Bear is not just telling you something that he's picking up from out of the left field here, like, some of these Republican I'm just watching some of these guys talk, and Robert, they're literally, it's garbage they're throwing out there. So I want everybody to understand that. Please make sure that the information that you're getting is correct. I'm listening to these guys because, sorry, Robert, I'm a policy geek. I like to watch the races, even if they're Republicans. But these guys have just got the wrong information, and they're spitting it out, and I feel so terrible for people that are listening to them.
Well, it was interesting when we were in school, and when Wendy and I were in school, wasn't the social studies teacher always the coach? So now we're really being affected by that. I'm just kidding, but I'm throwing out there.
Yeah. And you want to know something too, like it really comes back to all of, back in 1982 when, the Reaganomics was like, government is the enemy, right? And you looked at that, government was the enemy, so let's cut all the resources to the schools. And now we're starting to pay for it, Robert.
Big time. Hey, Bob, thanks for stopping in. It's been a great show. What a way to end it. Thank you so much. Solar Bear with the solar news, Robert Blake from Red Lake. And I want to thank Arvina Martin of Emerge, Wisconsin, and Dr. Maureen Hackett of Howling For Wolves. Oh, we'll see you tomorrow.
Free Leonard Peltier.
Hi, I'm Kelly Kirk.
I'm Chad Larson.
And I'm Joe Kirk.
Your hosts for Searching for Service.